wanted to bring another project to you today. We will be making candles. So you see a plethora of items on my work table, and so let's just go through them briefly and then we'll get to it. So you can add dried flowers in your candles if you like. We are going to use dried eucalyptus ourselves today. You'll need something to put your candles in. I'm going to use these glass jars. You'll need wax. You can either use this block of candle making wax, or you can use flakes. You have a choice of wick. You can either use a handmade wick. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your own wick out of cotton string. This is some vanilla smell good for your candle. In my particular technique, I use wooden skewers. So we have a variety of lengths here. I'll use my glue gun. So we'll need glue sticks. I have an old knife that I use to cut up the wax. This is something that I would not use in the kitchen any longer, so keep that in mind when you pick out your items. We're also going to use, from our other video, our cinnamon to put in our candles. And of course, I'm going to just recycle where I've made stuff before. I will paint this. You'll see how cute that'll come out. And then as an extra treat, I'm going to put some shells in some of mine. And my wax pot, I've off camera went ahead and chopped up an old votive that was discolored, and that's what I'm going to use to make the wicks. For stability and for ease of cleanup, just some old pie pins to set these in for when I'm pouring. Alright, I will meet you at the kitchen to go get this all melted. Alright, here we are in the kitchen, and you can see I set up my double boiler, and I've used some rings, canning rings, to just create a little bit of lift from the bottom. I will put in my wax, and we'll get it melted and then get back to you. Alright, so we got our wax melted, and I cut up some 100% cotton, and I've let it soak in here about 10 minutes. So now we want to lay it out. It's just on an old cookie sheet, once again, something I wouldn't use in the kitchen any longer. And you want to work kind of fast. Okay, let's prep up our jars while our wax is melting. So And our wax is melted. Now it's time to put our cinnamon flavor in. So you can see off camera I decided to go ahead and make my wooden skewers. I cut them in half is all I did. Try to get this where you can see what I'm doing. And basically this is just for candle making. This is a cinnamon scent. You do it after you take it off the fire so that you can make sure that it doesn't dissipate. It dissipates with heat. You just gently pour it. And we'll have to come back and fill it again. They tend to have a little dippity-doo in the middle when it cools and sets. They smell really good. The cinnamon on cinnamon is really nice. These will make nice gifts. Okay, here we are. We're back in the kitchen. Our wax is melted. Our next set of jars is our set up. I just stirred in this set will be lemon. So that's actually an essential oil versus the candle scent that we put in for the cinnamon. But we wanted this for the beach theme. Clean. So let's start pouring. Have a wick that gets away on you, just dig it out and then place your new wick in there. Get your sticks and cut this off so it doesn't have all this top weight. And basically just like that. So we have all of our clothespins and our wooden skewers removed. We're going to top off our cinnamon candles just like this. I only warmed up a little bit of wax. We'll see if I need more. At this point you just sort of see how much it's going to sink down. And we're just about right. And then what we'll do is this little shred that I did a minute ago, just to decorate the tops. Don't really want it near the wick and don't want it above the rim because these do have lids. That's one thing that they tell you to keep your fragrance longer is to put a lid on it, so that's why I picked the jars that I picked for today. about 24 hours since we poured our candles. They're nice and set up. I had a little bit of wax left over. I'm literally going to just break this into pieces and store it. Store it in a Ziploc baggie. Alright, so we have our wick trimmed. We've got our lid on, our second style of lid. So now we're going to decorate it. Real simple. I just find some cute little shells. It'll look something like this with the twine around it, so you know, you can give it to a man or a woman. So these turned out pretty cute. These are our cinnamon. Smells delicious. And I just basically made a small little embellishment. Put my twine around the top, and it just sort of makes a cute little package all together. So I wanted to make one of these floral pieces and show you just how easy it is. So I do have one more candle technique I want to share with you, and it is this is the kit. It came as a kit. It's called Candle Magic. So it is a honeycomb kit. So I've already created a few, but I'm going to show you how to roll them right now. I've made different sizes, and you want it to be just rolled really tight in the wick. So the kit came with the wax sheets and the wick and the instructions. This one I'll show you. Oh, I found a way to cheat and do that much better. And then I've got short little ones because I want to make a couple different displays. So basically this is really easy stuff to cut, which is kind of cool. Basically just gonna eyeball it. I want it to be about 3/4. No right, no wrong. And then cut it. And it cuts, I want to say it cuts like paper, but I mean, it's really super easy to cut. Okay, and then you have the strip. I would suggest keeping the papers because this stuff is kind of messy. And you want to lay this side over, and then you want to cut the wick. It comes with a wad of string, but you want to cut it about 1 inch longer than your beeswax sheet. It's easier to cut it right when you're starting, because you'll trim it once you get it into how you want it to display it. So basically, get these and let me move down. So basically, this first one is just a fold over. And it's a little ornery to get started, but you just roll it. The key is to be really tight at the beginning. And when it comes to the top, you can just push this down just to keep it going straight. But they suggest that you can roll tapers, you can roll columns. These are columns because they're all straight. Taper, it would graduate back so that you would cut basically a triangle out of your sheet here. So basically, once you get it going, you can just roll it. And this one I'm making a little bit bigger since it's in the front. What I found, here's my tip and trick for you. What I found, let's lay these here, is that if you take a just your regular heat tool and heat it up, it takes it but just 1 second to warm up, and then you can see it change, kind of like when you're embossing, and just roll it over, and then you get that seamless seam, right? It looks these wax sheets. So these all have the same diameter, but I probably will create some floral spray and set them up. Get rid of that because that has cookie on it. But there they are. So once again, that is your metallic honeycomb kit. So I wanted to just give you some hindsight, because hindsight's always 20/20, right? So to do this project again, what I would probably do is have 2 of these. That's my picture, right? Because of the scents, it would be wise to have 2 of these. The cinnamon was an actual candle making scent. It worked beautifully. It smells delicious. This was the lemon, which was just an essential oil. While it smelled really good, I have a feeling that this isn't going to last. The smell won't last as long, which is another reason I wanted to make sure these had lids. And I think I forgot to tell you, I want to make sure, I did use this for my tops in case they go outside. So I like this hammered, and I like the Rust-Oleum. They go on easy, and so I use the silver. But yeah, I like these for these particular objects. This kit here, I don't personally think I would buy this again. It leaves junk on your fingers, and it doesn't really roll the way you would like it to roll. I struggle to get this to look the way I want to. I'll be able to salvage what I have, but it took a lot more effort than I wanted it to. So with that being said, I would definitely melt wax again. This took all these jars. We melted 6 pounds of wax. Sounds like a lot. Well, actually it was 5 cubes of wax and 1 pound of flakes. So just because I wanted to see if it would all melt the same, they did. I did have to stir the flakes a little bit more than just the melting wax. Melting wax just did its thing, and I just had to be there to watch it and make sure it didn't do anything crazy. The flakes I did have to stir, but not anything that was annoying and would make me not buy it again. I didn't notice that one melted faster than the other. I like adding these little floral sprays to the top. I think that adds a nice little festive look to it and matches the nice cinnamon smell inside. I like the seashells and the different elements that I found. One thing I would do if I want to embed, like with the cinnamon, it looks great, even on the bottom. On the sides, they look great. But if I were to embed seashells again, I would probably make sure I had a wax that would dry clear. Here are our candles. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video and you have something you could take away. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll work on answering any questions you might have. And until next time, happy crafting!